What's up, everybody? We are back for another edition of Everything Live. Everything Phoenix, I should say, not Everything Live. Phoenix edition. Guys, let's jump right in. Water. We're going to jump right in, guys. Water issue in Arizona. This article is phenomenal. It's going to sum up everything. I'm going to jump right into this water article, and then we're going to go over what we're going to be covering for the rest of our time here today. So this is a great article summarizing kind of some of the misconceptions that happened when the article came out from the media about the governor's new water policy that was published a couple months ago. So check this out, guys. Here we go. So I'm going to cover this right here real quick here because it's very important. To judge by some recent headlines, you might think Arizona and developers in the state are in the midst of a ruinous water crisis. Those are big words. I can't even pronounce them. They're so big, okay? But Arizona faces a dilemma. Import water or end its housing boom. This is from Time Magazine. From Fox 10, new Arizona development projects pause due to dwindling water supply. This is sexy, fear-mongering headlines, guys. This is not what you should be paying attention to, and they should not be writing this stuff because we're going to cover it right here as to why that's not accurate. All right. For the record, Arizona is not out of water. A construction moratorium has not been issued by the governor. Okay. The real headline would not grab the attention desired by many major outlets. Now, I've been saying this for weeks, months at this point. It's all about clickbait and what they can sell, right? The real headline would not grab that attention. But Arizona has a long tradition of effective water management and conservation, and the governor's latest policy move is much more limited in scope and effect. Still, there are significant implications and many open questions. Here's what business leaders in the state and those looking elsewhere that do business in Arizona need to know. Here you go. We're summing it up for you right here. All right. On June 1st, she directed the Arizona Department of Water Resources to pause approvals of new assured water supply determinations that rely on pumping groundwater in the Phoenix active management area. This was largely in response to projections showing a 4% deficit in the region's groundwater supply over the next 100 years. So again, a assured water supply certificate is guaranteeing 100 years of water, future water from groundwater alone. All right. She's saying they're going to pause that for the time being, okay? The practical effect is that developers will need to identify alternative water source to groundwater. So this could be the municipality. This could be assured water supplies, the CAP water for Central Arizona Project, okay? That's what the canals run through. That's who manages that. Or an alternative source to obtain a new certificate of assured water supply for a new subdivision in the Phoenix AMA. Again, this limited action was taken over a 4% deficit projection over the next century. Not decade, not year, century. Whether the action is excessive or justified is a policy question, but many agree that the message was widely misunderstood, no doubt about it, creating risk for Arizona's economy. For that reason, it is important to clear up the following common misconceptions. Thank goodness we have an article like this that we can finally set the record straight, right? I've been waiting for this article because I'm not smart enough to write one this well. Maybe I would, but I just didn't. I don't know. But no, there are people that have a full-time job. They track this water, so they're way smarter than me, and they are clearing it up. So this is awesome, okay? So here we go. Here's the bullet points that I think are important. This pause will only impact proposed developments within the Phoenix AMA, not the rest of the state, okay? Just the Phoenix metro area. Further narrowing the policy's applicability, large portions of the land within the Phoenix AMA are served by a supplier with a designation of assured water supply, and many new subdivisions may be added to such designation upon approval of the applicable municipality. Subdivisions within these water service areas do not need to obtain a certificate of assured water supply if the water provider offers a written commitment to supply service. So if you're located in one of the majority of the subdivisions that are in these certain suburbs like Avondale, Chandler, El Mirage, Glendale, Goodyear, Mesa, Peoria, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Surprise, and Tempe, to name a few, you don't have to worry about it. If you have land you want to build in that area, you already have this certificate, the 100 years of groundwater supply rolling right into the future, you're good to go. This new policy also will not affect the certificates of assured water supply already issued for the approximate 80,000 lots currently under development. With that said, it is important to note developers must not make material changes to the existing approved plat as defined by the state's administrative code. Okay, no problem. Okay, although the assured water supply certificate requirement is applied most often to residential uses, the law does not expressly limit the requirement to housing. Okay, so what's next? This is good. Contrary to splashy headlines, clickbait, there's ample reason to be optimistic. Ongoing advancements in technology, conservation, and water augmentation are on track to more than compensate for the 4% deficit cited. That's even a guess, anyways, a projection by the governor herself. And she recently announced a $40 million investment from the American Rescue Act for water conservation infrastructure and sustainable groundwater management. And last year, the previous governor, Governor Ducey, signed landmark legislation appropriating $1.2 billion for the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority of Arizona, empowering the state agency to, among other things, buy new sources of water and build infrastructure to import water into Arizona. So, guys, this is really, really good stuff. The hope is that the state's Water Resources Department will administer the new policy in a thoughtful and expedient manner that will allow development in the affected areas while continuing Arizona's historic commitment to water conservation. This is key, guys. We talked about this before. After all, from the creation of the Central Arizona Project, CAP, by Senator Carl Hayden, and the enactment of the 1980 Groundwater Management Act to Governor Ducey's allocation of $1 billion toward future supplies, Arizona has actively managed its water supply and leads the nation in comprehensive water management and conservation. So why would we stop now? Guys, this is awesome. What a great article. Phoenix, is the number 2 city in the entire world that leads the world in water conservation behind Tel Aviv, Israel. So we are doing a great job. Could we do better? Of course, we're going to strive to do better. And this is talking about how the headlines, the media just completely blew this out of proportion. Guys, I had 3 clients, not one, but 3, call me within 2 to 3 days from the time these articles all came out a couple months ago with these sexy headlines, these clickbait headlines. And they were like, oh, you know what? That's so sad. This water thing's happening in such a great state. We're going to go ahead and not buy our second home down there. Or we're going to go ahead and not relocate. We're going to go to another state. I mean, how's Nevada? How's Texas? How's Idaho? How's Florida? And I'm sitting there going, guys, whoa, hold on here. And a couple of these were text messages and emails. So I said, hey, can we schedule a call, get a call, and we can clear this up because this is not what's happening. You have a 100-year water supply certificate. And guys, we're talking about groundwater alone. We're not even talking about surface water, i.e. rivers, lakes, etc. Okay. So this is interesting. I'm glad we covered this topic. There is another article I want to share about water in just a second as well. And then here's what we're going to do. We're going to dive into the Arizona Coyotes. Did they find a permanent home? I think they may have. And then Mattel, right now the craze is the Barbie movie, right? I haven't went to see it yet. My daughter hasn't asked me, but if she did, I would go. I'd be a good father. I would suck it up and I would go, but she hasn't asked me yet. So shh. Hopefully we're going to keep it that way, right? But if they want to go to the Mattel Adventure Park that is coming to the West Valley here pretty soon, I'll go to that. Why? They have some roller coasters. They have some indoor-outdoor adventure entertainment trying to maximize someone's experience, even when they're in the hot Arizona summer heat and going to the adventure park. It's quite interesting. We're going to cover that in a second. And what is going on with the Arizona housing market, the Phoenix housing market specifically right now? We're going to cover some of that too. And we're going to jump back in to my article. Okay. So this should be fun. Abby, what's going on? Can't wait for the Mattel Adventure Park. You know what? I'm not a Barbie fan, but I was a kid once too. And so they got toys and I'm kind of looking forward to it as well. This should be a blast. By the way, if you don't mind subscribing, if you don't mind letting us know where you're watching from, that would be great. I'd love to know what's going on, guys, and how we can further make this channel better for you. But hopefully we're going to drop some knowledge, keep it action-packed for our 30 minutes or so that we're going to be together here on this wonderful Thursday. So here we go, guys. We're going to jump back in. I'm going to share my screen. And, real quick, I got to give a shout out to my buddy, Jason Wood. That's him right there. He is a stud in the business world. And Phoenix Business Journal must think so too. So cool. What's up, Jason? All right, we're gonna go back to where is my other water article? Here it is. Okay, there's a picture of the San Pedro River. May never heard of this one if you live in Phoenix. It's in southern Arizona. But guys, this is the perfect example of a river that really isn't always going to have water in it unless there's well, rain off, a rainwater that pushes it through, or some sort of monsoon season, things of that nature. Okay, because a lot of riverbeds in Arizona remain dry for part of the year because we're in the desert. And so we have this unique thing. There's a word for it. Let's see. This is one of the most endangered rivers. Okay, it's on the Endangered Rivers report. But what do they call it? There's a word for it, guys. I'm gonna get it for you because it's kind of cool. I've never heard of it before. I'll be honest with you. Many of you probably have. We're gonna get it, and if you know it, just go ahead and put it in the comments right now. If you're while I sit there and look for it. But um, oh, here we go. Um, eph- Ephemeral. There we go. And intermittent water sources. There you go. I may have butchered that, but that's what they call it. These are rivers that aren't always going to have water in them the entire year. They dry up during like the summertime before it rains and things of that nature, but they will flow really well and hold water for quite some time if we get some rainfall and things of that nature, certain weather. So, but recently this talks about that there was a Supreme Court ruling here recently that here it is, Sackett versus EPA, and basically the Supreme Court said that it limited what the government can do to regulate waters that have a direct connection to surface waters. Okay, so that believe people in Arizona, when it comes to these kind of rivers that are dry, intermittent rivers, okay, they feel like this ruling could potentially have an impact on the protection of keeping those rivers, carved out in the way they are, so that they are there ready to go when the water and rainfall comes. So that's what this is about. At the end of the day, you know what this is yet to be seen in terms of how it's going to play out altogether. But because Arizona has the bigger issues of water conserving the Colorado River and these bigger rivers, Verde River and groundwater. But it's just interesting because it's one more thing that you don't really think about. You drive down the road, you see like a riverbed, maybe it may be dry, and you go, it's dried up. But really, it serves a purpose still in the ecosystem. So it'll be interesting to see how Arizona can continue to protect those types of rivers. Okay, so now we're going to jump into some housing updates. Okay, we have some cool development here, like we talked about, but we're going to get that in a second. All right, you guys are a chatty bunch today. Look at all these comments coming in. I don't see a whole lot, but just kidding, guys. Just kidding. You don't have to comment. It's okay. But if you want to be brave and say something or tell me I should slow down because I talk fast or whatever, please do. I'm welcome to it. I am a coachable student. Okay. So here we go. We're going to jump into some housing stuff. This is good stuff. Now, this is a lot of words. Okay. I'm not going to read everything. So everyone calm down. But there's some good information here for you to potentially to know about. So we're going to cover some of that right now. Here we go. The top part. Residential resale market has changed very little over the past 2 months. But other parts of the real estate market are seeing more significant changes. By the way, if the market is not going to change very much over the next 2 months, that's not necessarily a bad thing given the fact that rates are plus 7%. Okay. That's not, I mean, we saw what happened last year when rates spiked up to this number and the market just went into a free fall. So this is good because the market is fairly balanced and fairly strong right now. So if we can maintain this for, I don't know, the rest of the year or the period of time while rates stay around 7, let's say, or whatever, that would be a win for Phoenix. That would be a win overall, in my opinion, because there's people buying, there's people selling, and it's somewhat balanced and somewhat consistent. So hopefully we can keep it that way and doesn't go down or whatever it may be. So we'll see what happens. But let's see what else they have to say, the Cromford report regarding this. Again, guys, the Cromford report, it's amazing. It's the foremost authority for local economic housing data, specifically here for Phoenix. Okay. So it talks about the office sector here with commercial real estate is being severely challenged now. We talked about Phoenix having higher rates than most of the country, which they do, but now even Phoenix is starting to feel a little bit of the vacancy when it comes to office space because people are in this hybrid model, right, where they're in the office a couple days a week or whatever it may be, and they may work from home for a day or two, and so companies, they want to have an office, but they may not want that 100,000 square foot office Class A on the corner when they could, cut down to 30,000 square feet or whatever and save a bunch of money. So It's this interesting thing. They talk about WeWork. WeWork being in trouble right now. WeWork is that big company that obviously went out and built a bunch of office space to sublease to other companies on an individual or small business model basis. And so that's interesting, right? Then it also talks about the short-term rental market, guys. Here you go. It's peaked in a number of oversupplied locations. This is leading to ludicrous prophecies by a few deranged real estate gurus that a huge flood of former short-term rental homes will hit the market and in the near future. So many owners join the Airbnb party that are sometimes far more short-term rental properties than they are people wanting to rent them. This means lower occupancy, of course, and a lot of people switching over to long-term rentals. Okay. Over the last 2 years, check this out, guys. Occupancy is reported to have dropped from 60 to 56%. 4%, not terrible, but not going the right way as it is a negative trend. Okay. And it's not of catastrophic proportions. Some owners are considering moving to long term rentals. Okay. We got that. There is currently no greater shortage of potential tenants at the affordable end below $2,000 a month. So let me pause there, guys. If you are an investor or looking to invest, if you can make a numbers work based upon the way you're going to buy the property, the acquisition strategy, debt, whatever it may be, and the rental rates are around $2,000 a month or lower in the Phoenix metro area, pretty sure bet you're going to get that sucker rented quick. Okay, so vacancy rate very low if you can find the deal to make those numbers work at that price point. So keep that in mind. I want to throw it out there. Okay, now back to Cromford. There is not as much demand at people looking to rent above $4,000 a month. Okay. So this includes students sharing a home and blah, blah, blah. Okay. As a result, we have seen weakness in the rental rate per price per square foot for homes over $2,500 per month in Scottsdale. It was $1.89 a square foot in July. Oh man, look at the peak, $2.16 a foot in February. So it's come down a decent amount. We currently have 49.8% more active rental listings than we did just 12 months ago. About 800 of them are in Scottsdale, and their average asking rent is $43.80 a month. The last year, there were only 517 with an average rate of $42.90. So it's gone up from $42.90 to $43.80. Okay. All right. So that is interesting. Now, this data here talks about certain areas, what they're doing well, what areas are not doing so well. But look at the graph here, guys. Everyone loves pictures. Everyone loves arrows and colors. So here you go. This is a lot better than just reading text, right? But here's that per city CMI report, the index, right? Cromford Market Index. If it's above 110, it is a seller's market by definition. Below 90, it is a buyer's market by definition. So what do we have here? Well, we have a lot of sellers markets still, and then it gives you the trend with the line right here if it's going in the right direction or not. So you have now a lot of cities now starting to come down from their high that a lot of these cities reached in May, and even June. So we're seeing that start to be a little more flat. So still really healthy numbers. They could come down quite a bit and still be very healthy numbers if you are a seller. What's propping this up? Not the demand necessarily. I mean, that's helping, but the low supply, as we've covered quite a bit. Okay. All right. So that's interesting in the housing market. Okay. You have short-term rentals that are aplenty. They're not renting at the same rate they used to. I have 3 of them, guys. And I will say that I see the same thing. That trend with mine are that they are a little lower on the occupancy rates than they have been in the past. So it's interesting. I do think you're going to see this exit of people doing it, and then you're going to see a little bit of flattening out and maybe even a steady increase, maybe similar to what the housing market will do over the next several years as well. I think it's going to follow that to an extent. So we're holding on, we're doing a good, and we're proceeding with the short-term rentals. I also have long-term rentals as well, and those have just been very solid in terms of low vacancy rates. So that's good. All right, now I'm going to share my screen and go back to some development stuff. I talked about the Arizona Cardinals, so I'm going to give you what I said I'd talk about. And here we go. All right. They have found a home, it looks like. Now, nothing's final until it's final, right? But they confirm a land deal for a potential Mesa Arena in the process. So it looks like it's about as close to being a done deal as possible. There's a CEO of the Arizona Coyotes, okay, the wonderful hockey team. And he confirmed Wednesday morning, the team's owner, okay, that they purchased some land. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull up Google Maps really quick, real time here, because I'm going to show you where I believe this land is. Okay, let's go back here. You can see right here, it's 41 acres. There it is, right? And this will be where the new arena sits. So you're sitting there going, "Oh crap, it's Mesa. Is that like way out East Mesa?" Because now you might have the same situation we were in with way out in the West Valley, right? Will the people on the West Valley want to drive way out to East Mesa on a Tuesday night to watch the Coyotes play? I don't know, but let's see what we got here. In fact, it appears that that will not be the case. We're going to type in Mesa here. We're going to pull it up. There's the wonderful city of Mesa, Arizona. Okay. Down here. Okay. So where we're looking at, there's the boundaries. You see it? Here's where the land's going to be. It's going to be right by Bass Pro Shop down the area, which is actually fairly centralized, which is awesome, right? So this is actually a really good location. I'm excited about this because this will make it easier for my family. You know, we're not big hockey fans, but we do like hockey, and it's way better in person. If you have a chance to go to hockey game, you need to go to one in person. It's so much fun. But it looks like this land they're trying to buy is in this parcel right in here. I don't know if it's the whole parcel or just part of it, but 41 acres right here. So that is pretty sweet. You got the Cubs training facility right here. Okay. You have the Bass Pro Shop down here, a bunch of nice shops. You know, Cracker Barrel, of course, is a great place to eat, and a bunch of stuff right here. And then of course you have ASU right over here. Here's Tempe Marketplace, and then you have Scottsdale right here, right, and it goes up from there. So this area right here, right off the 202 loop, would be phenomenal, in my opinion, if that in fact is the land, which I'm pretty sure it is. They didn't give an address; they just gave a little description of it, right? So. That is the deal. So this is really cool. It looks like they're talking about having it ready, the arena, for the start of the 2026-2027 season. So we're still looking at what, 24, 25, 3 more years to build this all out. And we don't have designs yet, but best believe we will keep you apprised here if you're watching our show here on our YouTube Live. All right, so that's good news. I like it. Okay, now here we go. Here's what Abby talked about earlier, right? She's excited for this. I'm excited for it. But Mattel Adventure Park unveils ride details for Glendale Amusement Park. That's right. It's going to be in Glendale. And here are some renderings. Look at this. Got a little beach entry, beach access, right? You can hang out at the lake that's man-made. Okay. It's a rendering, an indoor amusement park featuring Mattel branded rides that is expected to open in 2024. Pretty cool. So let's dive in a little bit more because there's another picture in here. I like pictures. It's going to feature 2 Hot Wheels roller coasters, a Barbie beach house, and numerous Mattel branded attractions. It's expected to open, guys, it's right around the corner in 2024. Woo! Okay. It's an indoor theme park, is under construction as part of the planned VAI huge resort just south of State Farm Stadium, where the Arizona Cardinals play, and at Westgate in Glendale. Okay, right off the 101. It'll sit across 9 acres with 163,000 square foot facility and will be operated by Epic Resort Destinations. Look at this, guys. That's pretty sweet. Okay. It'll include an 80-foot high Hot Wheels Bone Shaker roller coaster, which will be the first family coaster to feature the Hot Rod Skull design. The second coaster, called Hot Wheels Twin Mill Racer, will feature a double loop, 2 corkscrews, a ride that will be the first of its kind in Arizona, according to Mattel, and other rides as well, guys. Thomas and Friends and all kinds of fun stuff. Look at this. This is pretty sweet. I'm excited for this. We all can be kids once again, right? So Mattel Adventure Park features a unique strategy year-round indoor design, providing acres of air-conditioned space to ensure a cool guest experience all summer long here in the heat of Arizona. How about that? Our attraction development team are simply redefining the entertainment channel by bringing Mattel's powerhouse evergreen brands to life like never before. Pretty cool. And if you want to first look at this roller coaster, I guess it's going to take place at the Desert Diamond Arena, which is north of this location, on August 19th and 20th. So really cool. And I'm going to show you the map here, guys. Where is that, Kelly? I'm glad you asked. Here you go. There it is. There's the VIA Resort, and Mattel is right there. It is. You can see it right there. There it is. And if you scroll up a little bit, there's the Arizona Cardinal Stadium. That's the big toaster oven that some people call it. And then you have Westgate just north of it. All of this stuff right here, which is a blast. They really do a good job over there. You got Top Golf right across the street. I mean, it's quite the area that Westgate and Glendale is building out. So if you scroll out and zoom out, you can get a feel for where this is located in terms of the entire valley. Okay, entire valley. So there's Glendale over here, and this map's hard, guys. I apologize. Let me convert that for you real quick. And there you go. It's right over here is where that Mattel is going to be. And then we're off the 101 in Glendale in the West Valley. All right, moving on. We've got a few more to cover. We'll be done, but this is cool. Oh, let's see. Taruna, what's going on? I can't. Is that a beach in AZ? Yes, it is. It's a beach in AZ. Can you believe it? I can't wait to go there. I mean, hey, if you're an adult, you just want to go there and hang out at the beach. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Hot Wheel roller coasters is what I am going for, and now that beach. Amen. Me too. And my guess is they're going to have some good food and maybe some libations while you sit on the beach as well. I mean, why go to Mexico anymore, right? Why go to California? Just go to Mattel, and you'll have all the beach you want and some Mai Tais. Okay. All right, so here we go. Chicken and Pickle opens first Arizona location, Goodwill Education Campus. Okay, I really want to focus on this Chicken and Pickle thing because this was pretty sweet. I love pickleball. We talked about pickleball on this channel before, but look at this, guys. Indoor pickleball, and you can like go play a little pickleball, have a little something to eat, hang out with friends. Check this out. Its first Arizona location has just opened up at Westgate. We just talked about Westgate in the same area right there. So Westgate is bringing the heat when it comes to entertainment here. The indoor-outdoor complex features a 65,000 square foot facility with a chef-driven restaurant, sports bar, multiple indoor and outdoor pickleball courts, and yard games. Guys, so here's the deal. Pickleball, the reason why this is going to work, and I wish I would have thought of this concept myself, is because all ages, all sizes, all anything, for the most part, can play pickleball, especially if it's doubles, right? Because you know, and if you're not that competitive, it's even more so you can play, right? Because you just kind of ding the ball. It's a wiffle ball type thing, so it doesn't go like super fast, and you can do that. I mean, I know some buddies who play pickleball, and they usually have a glass of root beer in one hand, and they just right. So you could be eating dinner and don't have to wait for the digestive enzymes to kick in. You can go play pickleball right away, right? If you don't choose to move around very much, your choice there. Some of us are pretty competitive, and we might make a mess of this and try to get after it, but you may not, and it's fine. And this will work, guys. It's kind of like Top Golf, right? Not everyone want to go out and play 18 holes of golf on a golf course because maybe they're not that good, have never practiced, but anyone can go to Top Golf and just swing the club and see what happens, right? In the meantime, have some food and drink. It's interesting. See the common theme here? Pretty cool. Abby, oh, thank you for asking this question. Which do you prefer, pickleball or tennis? Man, you know what? I'm a tennis purist. So I love pickleball. I am playing it. I got some buddies who play it. We actually play, but man, you gotta keep playing tennis because tennis is where it's at. Until they start having grand slams like the French Open and the US Open and all this in pickleball, I'm still a tennis guy. They start doing that with pickleball and it goes like worldwide, then it's gonna be a hard decision for me. Running at altitude. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for piping in. I always appreciate the support. Is Westgate safe area a safe area to live? It is. But let's go back to that map. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in. Here we go. So we're going to keep the bright map up here. I'm going to zoom a little more. For the most part, as a realtor, I'm a licensed agent. I can't, get into too much of the weeds on some of the stuff because you want to make sure you're, equally fair to everybody, right? That's what we are. Fair housing and all that fun stuff, right? So, but I will say that overall, the Westgate area is. Now, typically, if you're on the more west side of the 101, many times the crime rates, if you go on, look on any website, the crime rates are a little less over here than they are here. And then generally speaking, the more you go north right here, the crime is a little less as well than as if you go south. So, you're going to see the darker colors, if you will. That means more crime. The crime is subjective. It could be a car break-in. It could be, all kinds of different stuff, right? But typically, it's going to be more, a little more or less crime when you go to these crime websites and look at the public data that's public to everybody. It's going to be a little more or less up here and over here than it is in here, okay? So and again, we're talking Westgate right here, right off the 101. So, the areas around Westgate, right to the east of it, right on the east side of the Westgate area, are pretty good too because there's so much activity happens at Westgate. They want to make sure that's all safe stuff, and some money has poured into there too, right? Investor money, buying short-term rentals in that area. that they run out and things of that nature. So hopefully that gives you a good idea to answer your question as best as I possibly can within the realm that I'm able to do so. Okay, we're almost done, guys, but chicken and pickleball, man, I'm in for that. I can't wait to hit that up. Okay, guys, Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport, new terminal passes, construction milestone. This is cool. Sky Harbor is the international big airport that's located right in the central of Phoenix, which is actually a phenomenal location for an airport in a major city. But this is the Mesa Airport. It's a commercial airport. Most people don't know that Phoenix has two commercial airports. This is not a rinky-dink, you just fly your little single jet prop plane into. This is a commercial airport that Allegiant Airlines is the main carrier. 93% of all traffic into the Mesa Gateway Airport is Allegiant Airlines, and they are adding more flights on a daily, weekly basis. There are 47 flights that operate out of Phoenix by Allegiant Air to multiple different places across the country. In fact, the most recent one I said, I believe, is they added Portland, Oregon. Now, what's cool is 47 flights. There you go. What's cool about Allegiant Airlines is that they go nonstop from Phoenix, Mesa, to many places across the country that doesn't have the submarket cities, Spokane, Washington, maybe Lincoln or Grand Island, Nebraska. These areas that you wouldn't think of that United Airlines is flying into, at least direct. They'll fly their regional planes into, but at least direct. So Allegiant Airlines, guys, don't forget about that if you're flying into or out of Phoenix, because you might have a cheaper flight going to where you want to go, and potentially a nonstop flight that normally would have been a connection. So keep that in mind. Okay, we're going to do a couple more and we'll be done here, guys. All right, guys, this is interesting. Everyone knows the People's Open, the Phoenix Open. Check this out, guys. Waste Management Phoenix Open loses signature status for 2024 tournament. Now, everyone relax. It's not a big deal. It's going to be just fine. Let me explain how this works. Okay, there's a picture of the tournament, man. It is awesome. It is awesome. Okay, if you haven't had a chance to experience the Waste Management Phoenix Open in February, you absolutely should come down and visit it. It is a greatest show on turf, they call it, greatest show on grass, and it is a phenomenal event to just go hang out and see some golf and see a bunch of people watching. Okay. The PGA has certain tournaments throughout the year. They count signature, or it was a designated event is what they call it last year, I believe. It's now signature event, but not all of them. Okay. So I don't know if it's half or so, but a handful get selected as these signature events in which the prize money increases significantly. So they encourage all and incentivize all the best golfers in the PGA Tour to come play in that one tournament, wherever it may be across the country. Last year, the Waste Management Open had that signature status, which is awesome. The purse was $20 million total. And they're saying now that this year they're going to go into an off year and they won't be designated that signature status. So the purse will drop to about $9 million or so. So you'll still have some really good golfers, but you may not have all the best golfers like we did last year, which was a treat to see. It was a blast. So that's all that means. And then the year after that, maybe they'll get the signature status again, because it kind of rotates through all the different tournaments they play every weekend. So that's kind of how that works. So it's going to be a blast regardless, but it's good news, being a Phoenician, to know about what's going on with the People's Open, the Waste Management Open. Okay. And then here we have a little article about anyone who likes to gamble. The ESPN now has basically call it a white labeled sports gambling app. Okay. And it's going to be available in Phoenix. Yeah. Wow. Right. That's pretty interesting. So Barstool Sportsbook app was the name of it before. It's now going to be with the ESPN name on it, which they paid a bunch of money for or whatever. Right. And so that's interesting. There's a lot of people like to bet on sports. Hopefully, if you do so, I don't know what the right word is, but you do so that you are only betting what you can afford to bet, right? And you stop at that point, right? Let's just keep it like that. But I want to talk about this because in Phoenix, a lot of people like to bet, and they can do it, while still controlling themselves. And so this is a good app you may want to look into. Just saying, right? It's now available in Phoenix. Interest rates, guys. Let's hit this really fast. 7.14%. We talked about interest rates being around 7% earlier. There you go. It's not getting much better yet. Hopefully, it will by the end of the year. A lot of people are predicting that. And last but not least, we're going to end on this because this is interesting. It could be encouraging or not, but we're going to end on this because this has to do with interest rates. Wells Fargo economists reiterate forecasts of recession ahead. That's Wells Fargo. So let me ask you a question, guys. Do you think other banks are also doing the same thing? Don't be so sure. But the one that is forecasting it is going to make the headline. Why? Because it sells the most ad space. That's why. So it's true. The headline, Wells Fargo is saying that they believe there's going to be some negative growth in the second half of this year. But guess what? Bank of America, so it depends who you ask, their global research team said that they expect a soft landing now for the economy and that they no longer expect a mild recession. And they expect, in fact, real economic growth this year to reach 2% on average, up from its prior forecast of 1.5%. So somehow the Federal Reserve raises the rate last go around, and yet now Bank of America is looking at all the data, and this is what they do, and they go, wow, I think the economy is actually going to improve and go up by a half point. And then you look at Chase. What's Chase saying? They're the largest bank in Arizona when it comes to deposits. They said on August 4th that the bank says they have their projection to be economic growth to come in at an annualized rate of 2.5% positive, up from an earlier forecast of just a half point. So, given this growth, we doubt the economy will quickly lose enough momentum to slip into a mild contraction as early as next quarter, as we had previously projected. So, what's interesting is you have Wells Fargo saying, yeah, we're going to have some negative growth here. We're going to see a little bit of recession, most likely. And then you have Chase and Bank of America on this side saying, no, it's actually going to go the opposite way and it's going to grow. So who do you believe? I don't know. That's a tough one for me. So I guess you need to do your own due diligence. You need to watch this show because we'll keep bringing the facts over the fiction, the data over the drama, so you can make your own informed decision. And if you ever want to have a personal one-on-one call with me or someone on my team, please feel free to reach out to us at 480-660-5974. Okay. And we'll be happy to have a conversation, or just comment below or hit us up, DM us on social media at Kelly Cook Holmes on Instagram. Thanks, guys. If you don't mind subscribing and liking us and getting us out to more people, we really appreciate you. Thank you for spending your time today on this Thursday. And as always, keep it classy, Phoenix.